Well, yeah, like trailers like these are tough, like, because either you have sides on them for that rigidity, like that gives it a lot more strength. Whether it's just like the tube, rail, I'll call them rails, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They build those like that for basically to make the trailer stronger.
Sure.
It gives you something to like tie off to or whatever, but like. Hey everybody, welcome to the Make Trades Great Again podcast. I'm Eric. He's Andy. Andy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. It's had a little addition to the Ani Plumbing inventory over the weekend.
Nice.
Picked up just a utility trailer. This isn't anything major, but it's it's always kind of a little exciting to grab a new tool, basically.
Right. Yeah, something to get you a little more efficient. What did you end up picking up?
Well, so just a aluminum, utility trailer. It wasn't exactly what I went to go shop for. So I was looking online. There's a big dealer, like just 10 minutes, 15 minutes from my place here. They've been in business forever. And I say it like that because like they're huge. Like they have like, there's gotta be 1,000 freaking trailers in their lot, right? And they're big service. They it's just kind of really a big trailer dealer here.
Sure.
By comparison, everybody else in the area is really small and just doesn't really offer the same kind of service. So naturally, I'm just on their website, shopping around, looking for like an Aluma flatbed. I wasn't quite sure on what I needed, but I wanted a ramp. Basically the trailer is going to be used for the occasional large item equipment that won't fit in my van.
Right.
Something that could be forklifted onto the trailer kind of deal.
Sure.
Like recently had a use for a trailer. I don't like to work with a trailer if I don't need to,
right.
Except when it just makes total sense, like hauling big equipment, stuff like that, either to or from a job site. But recently I did that heat pump. We've talked about it on the podcast. That 80-gallon tank on a pallet was like 400 pounds. And I believe, if I remember, it was like 7 feet tall.
Right.
Right.
And doesn't lay down.
You're not laying this thing down. Exactly. Great point. Thank you.
Right.
Not something you're going to lay down. So I couldn't slide it into the van kind of thing. Also at nearly 400 pounds, if you could lay it down, I'd like to see you do that without damaging it or something else, your body. And then I'd love to see you get it back up. You know what I mean? Yeah. That sounds weird. Get it back up. But anyway, so occasionally we all have a use for a trailer, right? And I've used them plenty of times over the years. I own trailers. I've gotten rid of trailers. I have a love-hate relationship with trailers because typically after they age a little bit, even with some, normal maintenance, there's lights don't work, or if it has brakes, good luck. They're not, tuned up or whatever. You know the deal.
I do.
So anyway, decided I'm tired of using my big like deck over snowmobile trailer for certain things. A neighbor that has a couple neighbors have trailers that I've grabbed here and there for different things because theirs would work better than mine, that kind of thing. And finally I thought, why am I asking my neighbor? And they don't mind. I know they don't, but why am I asking my neighbor to use a trailer for my business? That seems silly.
Yep.
So I started shopping, and I actually ended up finding something I think I'm hoping is going to work out better than what I had originally was looking at. And it was because I set foot on the lot. They didn't have this trailer on their website, or that I wasn't looking at it necessarily until I was in person and thought, this thing's pretty sweet. So it's got the sides and stuff on it, but it's it's made by Flow, which is made here in Minnesota. It's all aluminum. It's like way overbuilt, and it's got that build where like the two front, like the side panels toward the front on both sides are removable, and become ramps. Like everybody's seen a trailer like this, right?
Side load ATV ramp type thing.
Yep. Exactly. All aluminum deck, all solid aluminum sides too, that aren't just those rails and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was looking at them like, I don't want a trailer like that because I can't load it with a forklift,
right?
From the side.
Yeah.
So in the event that I have to go pick something up and it's not delivered, what you know, But then I was looking at and I'm like, I don't like the ones with the ramps because they just rattle and blah, blah. I hate that. They're loose and more or less garbage. But I'm looking at this one. I'm like, that one's really interesting. Is it like a dump trailer or something? Because like the sides are different looking, solid and stuff, not just the rails. And I thought, no, that's a removable ramp. And they had these like cam lock, like rubber, like stoppers in the top. So they like were in there nice and tight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at them going, wow, this is like just different all around. So it caught my eye. I started looking at closer. It had the folding like beaver tail tailgate, which is something that I was also interested in. So that it wasn't as tall or as steep if it were short. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started taking the side off. I'm like, wow, this is really friggin' nice. And this is like extruded aluminum, just like the decking on the floor.
Right.
And the ramp thing, the removable side thing. And I got thinking about it. I'm like, well, shoot. I mean, you take this off and it's like, I don't know, it's 5 feet or more. I haven't measured it, but I could reach with my arms to both ends. I'm like, okay, it's like a bathtub. That's how I always measure things. Right. I know exactly what a bath bay is because my arms reach from both sides. I'm like, yeah, it's about 5 feet. I thought, well, 5 feet's way more than a pallet. So I could just have a pallet skid on this, if I had to move it over the wheels or whatever, big deal.
Sure. Yeah,
but at least I could get it onto the trailer. Well, yeah, like trailers like these are tough, like, because either you have sides on them for that rigidity, like that gives it a lot more strength. Whether it's just like the tube, rail, I'll call them rails, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They build those like that for basically to make the trailer stronger.
Sure.
It gives you something to like tie off to or whatever, but like, honestly, they don't serve like typically much of a purpose.
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't rely on this like 10-inch tall little side of your trailer to like hold your cargo. You know what I mean?
Right.
I thought, well, shoot, this is better than that. And then the ramp always screws you up too. Like you can't forklift onto the back if you got a ramp on it.
Right.
So I thought, well, this will work out. So I started comparing it to the one I was there actually to look at. And it turns out it's like way overbuilt compared to the other one. I thought, I'll give it a shot. So that's it. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's I want to say it's 7 foot by 14 or maybe 12 and a half or something like that. It's not huge. Yeah. Doesn't need to be. Nope. I need to be able to put like old water heater on it, old boiler, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like maybe both. In the event, like I got this heat pump job coming up, and from what I can gather, that piece of equipment on a pallet's not light, and it's not necessarily small either.
No, it's not.
It's not something I'm going to be putting in my van because getting it in and out of the van would be a challenge.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to work out to put it on the trailer.
Yeah. Here's the deal. I mean, as we transition into this heat pump era, or this heightened heat pump era, I guess we've been doing heat pumps for a long time. But one of the things that everybody can agree is that we're not seeing any of this equipment getting smaller.
Not really.
Right? Like on the gas boiler side of things, everything has gotten smaller over the last 30 years.
It's kind of, over 30 years, but like over the most recent history, like boilers are just kind of the size they are, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, 30 years ago, we didn't have wall hung mod cons, right?
Correct.
We were dealing with cast iron boilers and whatnot. They were bigger.
Yeah.
But so boilers have gotten smaller. Air conditioners, on the other hand, have gotten bigger, right?
Physically,
like,
for sure.
Massive. You look at some of these new 5-ton high SEER cabinets, outdoor units, and they're like friggin' huge.
They wouldn't fit in my van because of the shelving.
Right. Like 4 foot by 4 foot cube type thing. So that kind of stuff, you're not going to fit that in the van. So Miles and I, when we were first setting his van up, when he was transitioned from the Nissan into the Transit, we were like, how do we make room so that you can put an outdoor unit in your van?
Yeah. Like you have to delete shelving in the rear.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
It was like, we do, I don't know, maybe 10 a year.
Yeah. Which isn't a lot, but
it's not a lot. But that's 10 days out of 300 and whatever that we work, that we're not, the rest of those days, we don't have an air conditioner in there. So then now we're just got wasted space.
Yeah. Call it 20 days. Yeah.
Sure. Right.
Yeah. Day before load up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, you know, it's really just a minuscule amount of time that we've got this. And so what we've decided to do, and what we've done on a couple of occasions, is I have a similar trailer. It sounds very similar. Mine's not aluminum, just a wood deck, steel frame trailer, side ramps, forklift load on the sides, and I think it's a 12-foot. I initially bought it to carry our side by side.
That's what this is built for. That's exactly what it's for. 4-wheelers, side by side, you name
whatever,
it. Yeah. That's what it's for.
Yeah. And so it's been kind of nice that having that, because it's small enough that you barely know it's there. It pulls really nice. And so, yeah, that little beaver tail flip down ramp is super handy.
I'm hoping it works out well. It's not a solid ramp or the I was hoping it was. They don't make them this way. Like at least what I'm seeing on the lots. I was hoping it was going to be that like a mesh screen,
like expanded steel. Yeah,
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be that, because with a 2-wheeler that's grippy and easy to lug up on,
easy to walk on.
This has the slats, but I think they're close enough together that it shouldn't be an issue. Worst case scenario, like a 350, 400 pound boiler, I might just have to carry a piece of plywood on it real quick. A small piece to put on the ramp, I guess.
You're going to be stair climber in that thing anyway.
Well, I got the stair. Yeah, I got the side to take off, put the stair climber on. Yeah. Perfect. Great point. You made a great point there. Yep. I'm almost always going to have that stair climber now. It's just so useful.
Yep. Ours is on the job trailer. I just actually last night, it's funny you mentioned the trailer thing. So last night I came home and PEX Universe delivered like a massive order of Centrotherm vent pipe.
I just ordered a bunch from Johnstone. Look at a load of it.
I was just like, box quantity, 1, 2, 3, and 6. Just send me case quantities each.
Box of pipe, 3-inch?
45s. Yeah, all 3-inch.
Yep.
And the only thing that didn't show up, and I'm currently out. I have one ring.
Oh, yeah.
And get this, there is one ring in Missoula.
Oh,
and that's mine.
You're kidding me.
No. And I'm like, what? How?
I just ordered a bunch from Johnstone, but I saw them on PEX Universe too.
Yeah. So I got a box coming. I think they may even be here today, but they didn't show up with the rest of my order. And so last night I'm, putting all this stuff away, and I started loading the trailer. And so if anybody remembers, here about a year ago, this time a year ago, I smashed the front of my van in with a deer.
That's right.
And then I smashed the front of the trailer in like 6 days later.
The enclosed trailer.
The brand new enclosed trailer with another deer. And so I'd never done anything with the front of that trailer. It was just, it was fine. It was weather tight still, but there was a big kind of like caved in front section.
Yeah. You got a V checked by a whitetail.
Yeah, exactly. Got attacked. And so last night I'm sitting there and I'm like, I need to like, now's as good a time as any, because before I load all this pipe in there, and it's going to be winter here soon, and I'm not going to, whatever. It was nice out yesterday. So I'm like, screw it. Emptied the whole front of the trailer out, took all the sheeting off on the inside, and got in there with, redneck rampage freaking bodywork.
Couple 2x4s, rubber mallet.
Well, it was no rubber mallet. It was 10-pound sledgehammer.
But it's just that sheet metal, though. It's like aluminum, too.
No, it bent the aluminum frame. The aluminum vertical uprights were like bent in. So I straightened those out and threw a couple of bolts through some things and mule kicked the siding out. And it doesn't look great, but it's a lot better than it did. And it's now flat, and I can screw the sheeting back on inside.
Yeah.
But
this dealer that I bought my trailer from, they walked me back into their shop. You know, we were just waiting for him to bring the trailer out, and the guy's like, "Hey, you want to see our shop?" I'm like, "Yeah,
sure.
Why? Yeah. Who doesn't?" So we walked back there, and I was amazed. They had, they were like customizing an enclosed trailer.
Nice.
And I thought, you guys do this kind of, like, he's like, we're like, other dealers hire them. to make stuff. Like, that's how big their shop is. They like fabrication. Cool. They said we reskin trailers all the time.
Yeah.
Damage. Somebody runs them into a tree, you know, backing them up into some customer's driveway, or, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay. That's why I'm here, you know?
Miles's niece, Haley, is a welder out at Alcom. So I don't know if you guys have Alcom out there.
I don't know.
They're a massive aluminum trailer, very similar to Flow, right? You know, like same kind of thing, big enclosed trailer, super nice. And that's who made my enclosed trailer that I crashed up. And she said that same thing. She's like, well, you know, you can get a hold of, here's a list of a couple of different, different dealerships that deal with, you know, that do our repairs. She had said too, you know, well, we could probably just get you the parts and then you could just put a new skin on that front. And I was just like, yeah, well, you know what? I could. It's just time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's like you got to make a decision, either pay somebody to do it, right, or it's an insurance claim, which is probably too late for that.
Yeah.
Or attempt it. You attempted it. It seemed to work out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's flat, or it looks like, it's as flat as a topographic map now. So
it's funny.
Or not a topographic. Topographic is flat. What is the
relief map?
Relief map. There you go. That's what I was.
There's probably people listening to this. I have no idea what a relief map is. Remember, we used to have them. They'd have it in the classroom. And
third grade.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing ever. Remember when they pulled a big canvas map down from the ceiling?
Yeah,
that was cool. I always got excited about, like, we're going to talk about geography. I don't know. Yeah. When I was young. Yeah. Now I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just visit.
Yeah.
Just gonna
you'd run up to the map and be like, oh, there's Antarctica. Oh, there's Egypt.
Can anybody point to South Dakota? You know?
Nobody ever said that.
Okay, fine. I wanted them to, because I knew where South Dakota was. Because I had been to Wall Drug. Anyway, so new trailer, kind of excited about it just because, you know, it's new and it looks nice and it just seems simple. Like, it's just a spade 4-wire or whatever, no brakes, single axle. The nice thing in Minnesota, when you have that 2990 axle, that 3,000 pound axle, and smaller, it's a lifetime registration.
Oh, interesting.
So you just, and it's minimal. I mean, seriously, not expensive. And you just get a sticker that mounts to the tongue somewhere.
Yeah.
Usually these trailers now just have this little flat piece of, you know, aluminum they riveted to the side of the tongue, right?
Right.
And you just put that sticker there. I don't have to get a license plate for it and stuff. That's just cool. On the small, under 3,000 pound.
Yeah.
And so like that's an incentive just to, you know, not, you know what I mean? It's just nice. It's cheaper than our other costs of registration for other things, and you're not doing it annually and stuff like that. That was a Jesse Ventura thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, somebody from Minnesota might know what I'm talking about. Back in it was late 90s, early 2000s, we had Jesse Ventura as our governor. I don't remember when he was elected. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. 2001, he was in office.
Was he?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you know that?
I remember the race being like, what the heck?
Yeah.
WWF.
Yeah.
Going into politics.
Exactly.
You know?
Nobody thought he'd win.
No.
He wasn't as much of a crackpot then as he is now.
No. No, he's kind of gone deep.
But one of his things I remember distinctively was the lifetime registration on trailers. No, he also just changed how our auto registration system worked and all these kinds of things. It just seemed like it seemed important at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? I mean, because things now seem like it seems silly talking about it, but it was important at that time. And it seems silly now because we're talking about like totally different things we're not going to get into on this podcast ever. We could start a new podcast and just talk about craziness and politics.
It wouldn't be hard. Everybody else is doing it.
Well, exactly. There's a big audience for either side too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So new trailer, see how it goes. Along with the new trailer, guess what I had to do? What? I talked to you about it. You already know the answer, but people listening, I had to put a hitch on my van. I didn't have one. And I didn't have one because I didn't need one before. It wasn't on the van when I bought it. Obviously, it's not like I took one off. It wasn't a big factor in buying the van, but the whole way I came about the van that I have, I would have had to put it on regardless.
Yeah.
Just never did.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times where I was like, oh, it'd be nice to have a hitch on this van. No doubt. Right. But it wasn't important enough to where I'd done it in the 5 years I've had this van. So
yeah.
Anyway, I did that. Took all of 20 minutes to add a hitch to my van.
Boom, boom, bolt, bolt, bolt. 4
yeah,
bolts.
There are 6 bolts.
6 bolts and
no
and
drilling.
A wiring plug.
What's that?
6 bolts and a plug.
Well, I haven't done the wiring yet. The wire harness I had to order.
Okay.
But it goes into the brake lights and stuff. Like it's a pre-made harness that's made specifically for like, oh, you don't have a factory kit? Here it is, basically.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. Hopefully that doesn't take much more than a half hour either. I did it in the shop here, the hitch. Like, I think you should do it. Like, you should be able to do that, right? I mean, if I was super busy, I probably would have thought about just having somebody throw it on.
Right.
But I made a phone call and they're like, oh, yeah, it'll be like $1,100 maybe on the high end. And I'm like, this is like a very, give me a quote, but let's not get into it kind of quote.
Right. Yeah. What's this cost? What's that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want this hitch. That no, it wasn't. It's like I need a class 3 hitch on this van. If the thing can only tow like, I don't know. I'm not going to tow more than 3,000 pounds with it anyway. You know what I mean? What can I? What is that going to? And they're like, well, on the high end, it'd be. And I'm like, are you freaking nuts? Because I knew I could order it, and you and I had talked about this.
Yeah.
I knew I could order one off of anywhere online, Amazon, eTrailer, whatever, and be probably under $200 just for the hitch itself, right? So the receiver. But anyway, got that 15, 20 minutes. She was on. I had one bolt to do on because I had that tow hook thing on the back.
Like a recovery.
That was, factory. There's like a loop on the rear underneath the rear bumper.
Yeah.
That was a little hard to get off. I'm not going to lie.
I was going to say that probably didn't come loose.
Yeah. Oh, you said yours as a steel trailer. So,
yeah.
My buddies that I have borrowed many times over the years is steel too. The problem with steel in Minnesota is the salt.
Yeah.
And they're great and they're especially strong and inexpensive typically. At least when you compare them, they're lower cost than aluminum, right? For like same kind of trailer.
Yeah.
Problem is like in 5 years, that thing is going to be
brown rust.
So bad. Yeah, exactly. It'd be like, dang it. I don't care how well they paint them, coat them, whatever. I mean, the roads in Minnesota will kill them here. Yeah. So I just was like, right from the start, I'm like, you know what? I just want to buy a nice trailer. And that meant to me, just for like aesthetic reasons, it just wasn't going to be steel this time around.
Right.
I've owned them in the past. There's nothing wrong with them. Aluminum just seems like if you buy the right one, they're kind of fine forever,
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
There you go. You have the enclosed trailer and a utility. You guys use the enclosed trailer though pretty much all the time, right? Yeah. When you're doing change outs and stuff like that, you guys are putting the equipment on the trailer and you kind of have the trailer set up. You've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. No, the trailer is basically a mobile warehouse. Is the way I have my old job trailer is still sitting here beside the shop. It now houses our boilers, right? So like if I order 5 or 6 boilers for projects, I have the supply house deliver all of them at the same time. And then I just tag them, stock them in the trailer in the order that they're going to get in, installed. And we do that once a month or something like that, where we'll restock that trailer with boilers. And but the job trailer now has changed, and it almost could change again. So it's got all of our PVC fittings, like bulk PVC fittings on it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to, because we're not doing that much plumbing. And I was thinking about this last night, like, well, we could probably unload and free up some space in it. Now, here's the thing. It's a 8 or 7.5 by 16 by 7. So 7 tall, trailer. It's big enough trailer. It's nice because you can walk up in and out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I outfitted the inside of that with U-line shipping containers.
Yep.
So super tough, folding, kind of like interlocking top lid.
Yep.
And
the bifold tops.
Yep. And so we've got two different sizes of those. And it's basically, I mean, if you were, let's say I was going to send you out to do a boiler install, right? Every accessory that you would want should be on the trailer. At the shop will have the boiler, low loss header, indirect, a magnet.
You'll have it delivered per job.
Right. That'll all be at the shop. I'll load all of that onto the trailer. All of those big accessories will go into an empty bin generally. Mm-hmm. That's what I try to do. I haven't been so good about it here lately because I've been kind of crazy busy, and I just haven't spent that 20 minutes to set that stuff aside in the beginning.
Yeah.
But what I've been doing is going into the trailer and going, okay, I know that the guys are going to need a set of pump flanges. They're going to need a tank bracket. They're going to need a service valve. They're going to need a feed water kit. They're going to need, these 8-10 items.
Yeah.
And put it into one of those bigger containers so that when they get to the job, they can go, I'm going to take this container inside. We're going to take the boiler inside. We're going to take the water heater inside. They are going to come out for fittings after that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's nice. I mean, there are days where that would be, any job I can make that useful and efficient for myself. I'm not going to work out of a trailer. I did it for years early on. I may change my mind on that if I were to bring people on and we did more of that kind of consistently, but what I'm doing has been working, but I like that. I like what you're doing, and it makes a lot of sense because it can be put on all three of your other, your guys' vans.
Anybody
you don't have to have 3 setups typically, and you're usually double teaming, like at least like the first day on a job if you're able to. So that makes sense,
Yeah.
To where you're now a little more universal too. Like I know when things get a little hairy, you might have one guy towing the trailer, but sending the other guy to a supply house to pick up that one part that either you forgot or you couldn't get, or, shoot, we need this because we just made another visit to that job and we didn't see it the first time, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, and it's stocked with pipe, that's like I say, I was doing last night was, restocked all the Centrotherm, got fittings restocked. And 2 nights ago I bought, not 2 nights ago, Sunday night. I have found for my Dymo, I have got a Dymo 550 turbo label writer, right? Connects up to my Mac.
Sounds way cooler than it is.
It's fancy.
You got the Dymo 550 turbo, and then you said label writer, and I was like completely let down.
Uses these big, huge labels.
Yeah.
So they're like a roll of labels. Well, I found durable. They call them durable. They're like a vinyl label, right?
Yep. So I have this strip for mine that's like vinyl canvas-y kind of stuff. Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah. So this particular label is 2.5 inches by 4 inches.
Geez, I don't have anything like that. I need the turbo.
So I was able to print, and I just did it. Like say Sunday, I went through and all the bins had a smaller label or a masking tape tag that was like, oh, here's what's in this tote. And so I went through and printed a label for everything, and now all the bins are labeled. And
that's nice. I mean, it's tedious, time consuming, kind of lame work, but
it
pays off.
It took me a half an hour, and now I walked in there last night and I was like, huh, guess what's in that bin? Pumps.
Yep. It says,
what's in that one? Tank brackets.
Pumps.
That's guess
you don't have to
probably
worry
where
about,
I'd go to look for some tank brackets.
Yeah. No, that's the kind of efficiency though that makes a huge difference over time.
Yeah.
One job at a time, it makes a difference for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I know that we could probably streamline that a little bit, even more. And that's the thing that we're trying to do with the job trailer is it's like, I'm
get
constantly
rid of the stuff you don't need, that kind of thing.
Yeah. The guys are probably tired of me asking, but I'm constantly asking, like, what took you the longest? Right. Like, I know it's not like, I don't want to phrase it like, geez, what took you so long? Because that's not what I'm looking for. That's not the question. But the question is, what was the most time consuming component of this install?
Okay.
Right now, okay. So then they say, well, it took us X to haul all the stuff in and out. Okay.
Right.
Well, what can we do to improve the efficiency of that? So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, and it can come down to something as simple as like what's on how the van's set up, or I mean, it's not simple, but like the answer can be simple, like, oh, it's this, and it's obvious, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting. Well, cool. I say we give it a wrap and we invite anybody to write in. There's a function where you can send us a message. We get those messages. We can't reply to you directly in those messages. I should bring that up.
right.
We're very thankful that you're sending those messages. We try to bring them up in the podcast episodes. We'll acknowledge those. Like we got a couple recently and very cool. We're going to use them for subject matter of the episodes. I appreciate you writing in, leaving the message, hitting us up over on Instagram. I'm at Mechanical Hub. That's me, Eric Ani, and then Andy Mickelson. He's at Mick, MICK _Plumb, PLUMB. You can send us DMs over there. If you do that, super appreciative if you put MTGA at the very beginning of the message, because it's really cool on the message side of things, Meta, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. We can search MTGA and any message that's sent to us will pop up first.
Yep.
Makes it really easy to find your messages that way. Really do appreciate it. Absolutely. And we're often having conversations over there too with people in the DMs. A lot of times people will message us together at the same time, which thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. It's cool to see ideas and fun things exchanged back and forth over there.
Yeah.
They could always email us, and that's at maketradesgreatagain at Gmail, or I'm sorry, maketradesgreatagain at gmail.com. Yeah, that's it, right, Andy?
I think that's all the avenues.
It is.
Like say, I don't know if you're doing the Buzzsprout text, throw your name in there.
Oh yeah, great idea.
Because what we're finding, this is new to us, and we're getting a few messages. And thank you to everybody that has messaged. Do us a favor so we can give you a shout out. It gives us your city, but other than that, we can say like,
it doesn't show us your phone
messaged in.
Right.
Thank you, kind individual. Because I don't know if you're whatever.
Yeah. There was Watertown, South Dakota, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana recently. We get like the last 4 digits of your phone number. We don't know who you are or anything. That's a great point. If you message us on that texting service, just leave your name in there if you want. You don't have to. You absolutely don't have to. All right, dude. I'm going to hit stop.
Do it.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Later.